Alright guys, I'm gonna check the valves. I know I was supposed to do the coolant video today, but the valve clearance has been in my head. I just wanna knock this one off to take it off my to-do list. So obviously the seat comes off, the tank comes up, and the side fairing has to come off so we can have access to the crank and the timing mark here. Okay, next step, I have to remove the air box. But since I'm gonna clean the air filter anyways, I'm gonna take off the cover first. But if you want, you can take the whole assembly. And before you do that, of course, you gotta take off this bracket here that holds the cables. And keep in mind how these cables run so they don't confuse you later. Remove this connector for the air temperature sensor. And then we got a hose over here. Just squish this with your channel lock fingers. Same thing here, there's another one. And with this you can use my lovely trick. Okay, going to the other side. We got one more hose over here. And then we have this connector. I'm gonna pry it off from the bracket, from the back side first. I'll show you how it looks like. That's how that bracket looks like, where it goes over here. Now I just have to loosen this bolt here, and you just have to loosen it a few turns. You don't have to like completely take it off. And then same thing on the other side. Now I have to break the airbox free from the throttle bodies. So whatever it takes, you know? So I found this spot to pry here. Just be careful, don't break this. If you break the injector here, you're gonna be thicked.
Want a flat case? Okay. Say hello to my little friend!
Gotta be a little more aggressive now. Okay, now to protect the throttle bodies from anything falling in, put a rag. This way nothing falls in there. Because if it does, it's gonna get sucked up in the engine and we're gonna have a bad day. Next, unplug this guy here. To make some more clearance, I'm gonna take off this bracket here and this one. Next, to make some space for the valve cover to come off, I'm gonna remove these cables. And so I don't get confused, I'm going to mark the top one. Top. That's for my Greek cooking people. Size 12. I thought it was a 10 and then I thought it was 11, but it's a 12. Now unplug the ignition coils. Man, look at this guy, how tight it is in there. Gonna give it a twist. Just be careful when you use a pry bar. Don't break the tip off. So twist it, that's gonna break it free a little bit, and then just use this to help you a little bit. Okay, now you can see there's like some debris, some like little rocks. See this stuff? So to prevent that from falling in, I'm gonna blow it off carefully. And also I'm gonna blow inside the spark plug holes because I'm gonna change the plugs anyways. And also it's gonna be easier to spin the engine over. And now I'm just gonna break the plugs loose. I'm not gonna remove them, just make them come loose. And we're gonna remove them later. And since I'm here, I'm gonna pop this off. And this one. This is just useless emission crap. It's gonna come off one day. We're gonna eliminate it. Okay, now we're gonna go on the other side again. But this is like exercise from one side to the other. Okay, this is fighting me too much. So I'm gonna have this in to hold pressure on the tab. And then rock the boat. And then this blue one. And might as well take out this emission crap thingy now. I'm not gonna eliminate it yet, but I'm gonna remove it to have more access. Yeah, all these connectors are fighting me today here. Then look how much space more I have now to work. Look at that. And now tuck the wires out of the way as much as you can. I'm gonna put a pinche zip tie to hold it because this is really irritating. Okay, broski is almost there. Now we're gonna loosen these 6 Allen bolts to remove the valve cover, and we're getting really close. So you want to start from the outside first, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start from the edges and work your way inwards. And then for these inner ones, the socket doesn't fit, so you gotta use one of these. Okay, now we're ready to remove the valve cover. There's a spot here, looks like we can pry. Very careful though. But again, be very careful not to crack or scratch. So, oh, that's working nice. Oh yeah. It could have gave us a little bit of room. That's all we need, just a little bit more room. And then just remove the gasket. There is some glue on these edges right here. Just pull it up. Bam! Alright guys, this is where the fun begins. This is where we have to be like engineers here. Okay, next we're gonna remove the crank cover here to spin the crank and the timing mark. For every full turn the crankshaft makes, the valve train spins half. So if I spin the crank 360 degrees, that's one full circle. The camshafts are only gonna spin 180 degrees. One other thing is the timing chain. It spins like this. So when you spin the crankshaft, always spin it the way the engine spins. Because if you go the other way, that could put a load on the tensioner. It's over here somewhere. Say hello, tensioner. It's right there. It could put a load on that and it's not good. Now, if you do go over, let's say you spin the motor and you go over a little bit of the timing mark and you're like, oh crap, I have to go back a little bit. It's okay to go a little bit back and then go forward again. But don't be like spinning full circles backwards, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Now over here, you can see there's a line, this line here. So what you do is you spin the crankshaft from this bolt and then you look inside. There's gonna be a mark that's gonna line up with this line. And before I forget, this is the moment where I take the spark plugs out to make the engine spin easier. Okay, let's see if we can find that timing mark now. Okay, right there you can see this line inside, and the crank lines up with this line here. So when those two lines line up, that's either gonna be your top dead center for cylinder 1 or cylinder 4, because like I said, for one crank revolution it makes the valve train spin at half. Okay, so here you can see on this cylinder over here where the timing chain is, this is number 4 and that's number 1. The mark is on the crank, but number 4 is on TDC because like I said, for every revolution, the cams spin half. So I could start adjusting this side for number 4. I mean, check the valve clearances, but I don't want to confuse somebody. So I'm gonna spin the engine one more time and align cylinder number 1 on top dead center. And over here, you can see this notch here on the camshaft. And there's one over there. So if you look at that and you check this picture, where the arrow is pointing, that's those notches that I showed you. So when that happens, number 4 cylinder, the piston is all the way up on TDC, top dead center. I messed up my book, damn it. Anyway, I'm gonna spin it one more time and those marks on the cam should be like that. So I'm gonna spin it one more time and bring cylinder 1 on top dead center, which means the piston on cylinder 1 is gonna be all the way up. Okay, broskis, I spun it and you can see those marks here are not where they were before, and the lobes are not pushing on the pucks on cylinder 1. Okay, broskis, I'm not known for my Picasso abilities, but this is a cylinder head. Cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. Exhaust valves, intake valves, the specs for the intake valves, and the specs for the exhaust valves. So I'm gonna measure the clearance with a feeler gauge now. I'm gonna start with in cylinder 1, both exhaust valves. So it's saying when I'm on TDC, I can check the intake and exhaust valves on cylinder 1 And cylinder 2, the exhaust, blah blah blah. What they're trying to say basically is you can only check a valve clearance when the cam lobe is not pushing on the puck. Like this one right now, it's away from the puck, so I can measure that. You're gonna see how I measure it. So we got cylinder 1 here. I'm gonna start with exhaust. And I got 0.18 millimeters. The top one is inches, so don't look at that, look at the bottom one. I'm gonna give this a clean. And we're gonna go stick it in now. For me, it's kind of hard now because I'm holding the camera. I'm trying to get a good angle for you guys. So I have 0.18 and it fits nice, okay? Okay, from 0.18 now, I'm gonna move to a 20. See if this one fits in now. And it has to go in with a little drag. I mean, you're gonna feel it. It doesn't need too much pressure. 0.20, that fits nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go up another step. Okay, now I'm gonna try 0.23 millimeters. Let's see, broskis, if this one fits. Okay, this one does not fit. So the 0.21 seem to fit the best. So I'm gonna record that 0.20. Okay, that was 0.20. So this is within spec. That means no adjustment is needed. If it was below this number, it would have to be adjusted. And also if it was above this number, it would have to be adjusted. So next I'm gonna check the next exhaust valve right next to it on cylinder 1. And you can see on all the cylinders there's 2 exhaust valves and 2 intake valves. Alright guys, I checked these clearances. I rechecked the first one because it was hard with the camera and ended up being 0.23. These are the ones I checked. They're all within spec, they're very healthy. I'm gonna spin the engine 1 revolution on the crank like I said, and that's gonna bring cylinder 4 on the top, and I can check the rest of the valves that I didn't. Alright guys, I checked all the clearances. They are within spec. This one is the closest. This one is on the edge because you can see 0.18 is a minimum for the exhaust. That's right on the edge there. Now let's say if you do have to adjust them, you have to loosen this tensioner here, remove it, loosen this thingy that holds the camshafts, remove this. And with this, you have to be really careful because if not, it could crack and then you're gonna need an entire cylinder head because this is machined to the specific cylinder head. You cannot change these. If this breaks or wears, you have to get the whole cylinder head. Once you do that, camshafts come out, and then those round pucks, they have shims with different thicknesses, and you have to kind of calculate what kind of thickness you need. So I'm fortunate here, I'm good. I know this is not a complete video of check and clearance and adjustment. At least now you have an idea how to check the clearances. But I do know down the road, eventually I'm gonna have to adjust a valve, especially that one. Another thing, when you're using a feeler gauge, like let's say you're checking 0.25, right? You know, make sure it's just one blade, it's not 2 of them like right now, because this can fool you. You're gonna get a wrong reading, so make sure you only got 1 blade. Another thing is, I've heard of people dropping this nut from the tool because it gets loose from moving the blades. It gets loose and it can fall. So always keep an eye on this, that it's snug. Okay, my next step is I'm gonna remove these gaskets here since I have it off. I got new gaskets. This is the valve cover gasket. This is a part number. And this is for the spark plugs. This one basically. So here you're gonna want to clean this glue off. It's gonna be really tricky, I'm letting you know. Like this crapola, you see, you're gonna want to remove this glue stuff and try not to drop inside the engine. If you do, it's not the end of the world, but try not to drop that stuff in there. But you have to clean it to put fresh glue. And you have to be delicate not to scratch the surface. This plastic tool, it's good because it's not hard to scratch the cylinder head. It's obviously softer because it's plastic. I'm kind of scraping that glue off with this. Just gotta be patient. Alright guys, another day here. I cleaned that glue off. It took me a good amount of time. I must have spent like an hour cleaning that glue off, but it's really delicate work. And then another cool method is a piece of Scotch spray with a little brake cleaner. Scuff that glue off, kind of careful. And also at the same time you can like finger it with your nail to remove some of that glue carefully. And then when you're all done, same thing, put a little brake cleaner and you clean the surfaces up. And of course do these as well, the spark plug holes. You see all that oily stuff? And then the valve cover itself as well, because there's oil in here. A little bit, not too much, but you can see there is some oil. And after you clean that, you take this gasket off. Bada beam, bada boom. Make sure that's nice and clean. And also clean up these rubber gaskets for the bolt and inspect them. If they're torn or really squished, they should be replaced. And now I'm gonna use some RTV and I'm gonna put it where they had it before. Nice amount. And then the other half moon, you can get it from here. Okay, so I got the glue on. Most important is to get those edges, the corners, like right here where the corner is, because that's most likely spot to leak. I got all of them. Same thing on this side. Now the glue that I'm using, it says to leave it for an hour to get a little tacky, then bolt down whatever you're bolting down. It seems a little bit too much to me, but I am gonna leave it a little bit to dry. In the meantime, I'm gonna put the gaskets on here. This is the spark plug ones, and I want to clarify it goes a certain way. This thing here is for a reason. This little wiener right here. So that little wiener points towards the front of the bike. And the reason for that is because these holes, along with these tubes, are not in a straight line. They go like this, kind of. Now, it was a struggle to get the valve cover off, even with the gasket left on the bike. So I have a feeling it's not gonna go in with the gasket installed on the cover first, but I'm gonna try it. If that doesn't work, I'm gonna put the gasket on the cylinder head first. And while the glue is still curing, I want to show you all the old gasket material. You see all this black stuff? That's from the old gasket, the old glue that I scraped off. And the nice trick is I dropped a little piece, but I put some grease on the screwdriver. And you see this black piece, that's old glue that kind of fell in there. I was still able to see it. So I just stuck the screwdriver like this and I took it out. Another tip, what you can do is you could leave the gasket on the cylinder head without interfering with that glue and the half moons. Leave that on there and remove the valve cover. This way you don't need a new gasket or glue. But obviously it is better to get a new gasket. But if you want to do a shortcut, you can do that. And also another shortcut, if you believe your valves are gonna be in spec, just pop the tank off, take out the air box, whatever, and leave this fairing on. You don't have to take it off. And then what you can do is you can tap the starter and have the engine spin. But to do that, you kind of need to have some kind of experience so you know which valves to check. All right, let's see if I can fit the valve cover and the gasket installed. To make it a little bit easier, I'm gonna remove the cam position sensor. Okay, let's try this again. Oh yeah, it's gonna go now. And make sure the gasket is still on. It hasn't like peeled off. Okay, broskis, I have it on. Make sure the half moons are where they're supposed to be, like they're not wedged inside the cylinder head. Make sure they are sealing. And also inspect the gasket all around. Make sure it hasn't peeled off or got caught somewhere. Especially back here where you can't see. But if you can't see it or whatever, if you want to double... If you want to double check, you can use a mirror and visually check that the gasket is in place. I also want to mention, don't keep on pushing on it, because when you do that, you keep squishing the glue out. So you can push it maybe one time, make sure that it sits square everywhere. One time would be acceptable, but don't keep on pushing on it. Okay, now the repair manual says to put a little oil on these thingies, and it makes sense. It's kind of like when you put oil on the oil filter, so it slides easier. And all you need is just a tiny bit, nothing crazy. Just a little bit moist, you know? Because lubrication is key to penetration. Wow, I can't stop doing this. Okay, let's see what the torque is now. Valve cover bolt, 14 Newton meters. Those bolts, it's hard to fit a torque wrench with a socket. So I'm gonna go by hand and kind of feel that out. Okay, broskis, and always when you install, start from the center, working your way out. And go little by little. It's not a marathon, you know? It has to go down equally. Keep working your way like that, from the center outwards. Forgot to mention one more thing. When you put these on, for the crank and the timing mark, make sure this gasket is good. It's not worn or flattened, as well as this copper washer. That's all.